Hello and welcome to Straight Onto Disney, a Disney deep dive and analysis podcast, where each week I, your host Jonathan, takes a deep dive into the history of each Disney film and the legacy that they left behind. I'd like to remind you that you can follow me on Instagram at StraightOntoDisneyPod, and you can email me your thoughts at straightontodisneypod@gmail.com. This week's episode, we're going to be diving into the news that's been about the last few weeks, including some comments from the Pixar Boss, some F1 collaboration. We've got Oscar noms and Oscar wins to discuss about, and I'm joined by Tom to chat all these things. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Hello. How have we been?
Is this fifth episode I'm on now?
Yeah. Yeah, before I forget, and I'll both forget later on, is that we were on the Dis Debate episode last Sunday that you can watch on YouTube. We were chatting all things COVID.
And all things Jaffa cakes and dumb Dodgers.
Educating Jackson on British culture.
Yeah, I'm British snacks, yeah.
So I think best place to start is with the news that we got out from Pixar about Monsters Inc. 3, the upcoming musical Bono, I believe that is. I've probably said that wrong, and I'll correct that in the description below of this video. And we also got the comments about the Elio dropped LGBTQ plus plot. And I'm going to start there because I want to get this out. I want to really just talk about this because I'm not at all impressed with the wording of how this was said. So the boss said, "We're making a movie and not therapy." And for someone who deals with representation, it's not bad, but I'm a bit like, great. The way you're wording this and the context that this is coming out in the world that we're at now. And I don't get political on here, but I'm going to try and balance my thoughts out here in that the way you're describing therapy is sending a really damaging message into society that we're trying to make a movie. And yes, you can make a movie that's interesting, but what your young audiences are gaining from this is representation of seeing what is a true representation of our society on a screen. And in doing so, that then allows young audiences to ask the questions and get a real understanding of the world that they're growing up in. And that's the responsibilities that these films and Disney has for younger viewers, is showcasing the realities of society in a much more nuanced and covert way. The queer characters in general don't have the best track record when it comes to Disney. So that also falls under this. Obviously, that we've had the Foo being gay in the live action Beauty and the Beast, which was a quick dance at the end of the film. And I think I'm tired of us hearing this character's the first openly gay character, because no, it's not. It's just there to tick a box at times, and it's why I'm a bit annoyed at the wording of not therapy, because you're not traumatizing young children by showing us on screen. And I get it's probably a reflection on the backlash that you got with the Lightyear kiss, which, yeah, I can get why some people might not like it, but ultimately you're showcasing and building down these stereotypes that young audiences continuously see within your older classics, to the point where you've got warnings in front of films like Dumbo and Peter Pan because they include references to language that isn't appropriate now. And what we're then not doing is not going, right, this language wasn't appropriate here, this is why it wasn't appropriate here. And it's just, I just think as a headline, it's not nice to see, and I just wonder if you have any thoughts about it, Tom?
Um, well, I'm not someone who likes to kind of speak politically either, to be fair. Um, but as someone who like has heard about the story, and it's not exactly the best way he could have either described or explained kind of how he was kind of trying to get his point across, if he was to try and get anything else across, in the sense of if he was trying to say something different to what he did say, he's completely kind of made himself and very easy like opportunity for like backlash for Pixar, especially himself, and it's not a thing that makes a good light of Pixar, if especially if that's the kind of idea they're going to go forward with. But I mean, myself being like someone who's not a part of the like LGBTQ community, it's kind of just like a, it's in the sense of like I'm not fully understanding the situation just because it's not something that I'm fully still like learning and educating in. But obviously, someone like yourself, I can imagine that's very like, it's very like heartful and very disheartful to like hear them sort of words from someone who's like a part of especially an animation studio that's kind of representation of like anything is possible, anything is acceptable, etc., etc.
And I get it from writing point of views, but I just feel like it came out at a time where things are very uncertain for queer people, especially more so in the States. And it just felt like it didn't need it to be said. And if I'm being truthfully honest, that you couldn't have said that. And I think it's also sad that it's come out at a point where Pixar seems to be on a high with Hoppers having done brilliantly at the box office, and it just felt like great. That it's not nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of them things of like he clearly had an idea of what to say, and what came out was probably, well, hopefully not what he was intending to say, and it's
Yeah.
just going to be something that's going to be a massive, that's going to create more of a downward spiral off of such a high that, I mean, I can imagine he should, Pixar themselves and himself probably should put like an apology out there, but
Mm,
nowadays with the internet, the kind of the damage has already been done, kind of thing.
mm. Yeah, and to be fair, it doesn't seem like they're doing much of a PR push to say anything about this, which is what I'm finding interesting. Or maybe I've just not seen it, but mm,
It's kind of like one of those things. I'm like, I'm not fully educated enough to kind of say, well, this is why it's not okay. But it's more the
yeah,
sense of obviously what he said is not exactly acceptable in like 2026, in the sense of like, yes, you're not making a film that's directly revolving around that community, but to have characters
mm,
from that community in is still an okay thing, and it doesn't mean it has to revolve around the whole topic of the film. It doesn't have to be the massive plot point of
oh,
it, but having that sort of like representation in there, it does kind of shine a good light on themselves and the community they're showcasing.
and to be fair, we're not like asking for much. We just want to be able to say this is what we can show to younger audiences that do grow up with these films that are using these films as a benchmark of what they deem society, and
Mm-hmm.
it kind of feels like we're like not hushing, but we're kind of saying, mm, I just think the using of not therapy is like really telling, and as somebody who writes and is queer, when you see that headline, it's like great. How far back are we going now? And
Mm-hmm.
just trying to move on from this, it's like it does feel like we're in a period now where it isn't, or isn't not safe, but it's very it's a very tumultuous time, and to be fair, it's a tumultuous time to be in this world at the moment anyway.
I mean, to be fair, what you said, to be fair, it's kind of hit the nail on the head, really. Of like, obviously, for you being yourself a part of that community, you know how that impacts yourself and probably others within the community more than anyone, and more than definitely what I would be able to kind of explain it and describe it. But like, it's kind of like you say, like it's not necessarily like they don't have to make a film revolving around the LGBTQ community, as long as they've got like even like a little bit of representations, kind of like it's enough to like at least make people think, well, it's an acceptable part of the society.
Mm. Yeah, and I think that's a good place to leave this bit and move on to the positives that came out of this article, in that we're getting Monsters Inc. 3 in early development, saying currently.
The only, I mean, I'm excited for Monsters Inc. 3. The
Mm,
only issue is where do you kind, if it's going to be a sequel, where do you go from,
mm,
where do you go from Monsters Inc. 1, Monsters at Work, and then this? Or is it somewhere in between Monsters at Work? Or if it's another prequel, then you're going to have to kind of go further back from university and do like high school, which at
yeah.
that point Sully and Mike would have
It,
never met.
yeah. I don't know. Have you seen Monsters at Work?
I've seen I've seen little bits of it. I haven't like watched the full thing. Um,
Yeah,
but like I feel like it's going
because
to be
it's
a massive challenge for them to like figure out a good story to put in either in between or kind of after that sort of show.
yeah, because Monsters at Work's first season is set between when Water News gets arrested and that end. Do you know the end scene where they're on the floor with the magazines? That's where
Yeah,
the first season's set. So I'm like, you've already done a second season that's set after that. I just don't know where you can go, and that's something that the creatives are probably working out now. Is how do you do this? Because the one thing that he, I can't remember who directed and brought the first Monsters Inc. But when they were doing the TV show, he said, "I don't want Boo in it. I don't want you to take away from that ending. So if you are going to do a sequel that's set after it, I don't want you to take away from that ending."
I feel like it probably won't be probably the best idea to have Boone because I feel like that story should have ended the way it did. But
Mm,
in order to bring fans back to it, it's probably going to be the case of where like Boo is like a lot older, but still trying to find a way to get back into the monsters world.
mm, yeah, that could be an interesting way. Or it's her kids.
Mm,
I think
yeah,
it's a tricky one because I'm just sat here going, but we've already done what you would class as a sequel idea.
unless it's going to be like a whole new story where it's not going to follow Mike and Sully, but then
Mm,
it's the worry of are people going to be on board because it's not Mike and Sully.
mm, yeah, but then again, I'm sat here wondering. I wonder because obviously we're getting Monsters Inc. land in Hollywood studios. I wonder if whatever show they've got planned for that theatre building, they might
Mm.
tailor it to that, and we might get some crumbs of what they could be
Yeah,
doing.
but obviously it's not going to be like the scare factor of it because it's now led on to like the laughter creates more energy for them. So there's no point in like going back to like the sort of scare idea when
Yeah,
even now in the parks as well we've got like the laugh floor. So it's obvious that they've went full on in the sense of like that creates more energy that's more reliable.
yeah. That's why I'm a bit like I don't know if I needed this,
Mm.
and I'm I'm not surprised that they announced it because I did predict it in my predictions video. If you want to go and listen to that and double check me, but I'm a bit like, do we really need this?
I mean, I feel like what would have been better, like sequel wise, instead of having Monsters Inc., maybe just having like a different IP that doesn't get a lot of love, anyways, like Wally. Maybe it's
Mm,
like a Wally sequel because I feel like that would be quite cool to have.
yeah, yeah, I do agree, and there's another rumor about another property getting a sequel that we'll touch on later on. But I am a bit like intrigued and I wonder how fans feel about this. Is if you look at the Pixar's slate for the next few years, obviously we have Toy Story 5 this year, we have Gato next year, which is the only original. Then we have Incredibles 2, Coco 2, a proposed that now Monsters Inc. 3. Do you think fans are going to be a bit sequeled out when it comes to Pixar, or are they going to go and see these films?
I mean, I feel like Incredibles 3 will be fun because
Mm,
superheroes are something that you can like continuously do. Like we've seen with like Marvel, like you can make a good superhero film, and then the fact that Incredibles is such a loved part of Pixar's like catalog because it's like a superhero family, and all of them have different sort of abilities and stuff like that. You can always find a new way of making a new Incredibles for that.
mm,
But I feel like stuff like Monsters Inc. It's quite hard to kind of create something new for that.
yeah. No, I do agree. I do agree. I'm a bit like I'm in the same vein with Coco. Like I don't really think that needed a sequel.
No, I feel like Coco is one of the ones where like it should have just been its own thing. Maybe a
Yeah.
series that
Mm,
like goes on it, but that's about it. It's the same with like Big Hero 6. It's like I feel like if they were to make a
yeah.
second one of that, I feel like it would have to be really, really good. Like a really good
Yeah.
idea to like offer like a second one, or even like I think to be fair, I'm surprised what they haven't done is kind of focus more. I know it's not Pixar, I don't think to focus on like an Encanto
Hmm.
too,
Yeah. I am
because
surprised about that.
the way Encanto
Mm,
left off, it had the perfect opportunity to have a sequel.
mm, yeah. Well, to be fair, they couldn't. They could announce it to tie in with the bride opening in Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised. Hmm.
But it's like Incredibles one, for example, like it left on a cliffhanger, and I'm pretty sure Incredibles 2 did as well. So there's always
Hmm.
that opportunity for a sequel because if you're leaving something on a cliffhanger, it's gonna sort of make fans think, well, I want to see what happens next.
No, no, I agree, and I think we'll throw in the other film that's been rumored today, Cars 4. We'll throw it in here because it makes sense to chat about it in this section.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure we've mentioned Cars 4 a few times now, but like now we're starting to get like a date for the trailer, but we haven't had any plot ideas for it yet. Unfortunately, because I feel like that's going to be like the sort of decider for me is like, is this film's plot worth it?
Yeah, is it worth it, or are they just wanting to sell more die casts?
I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind a bit more Cars merch. I'm not going to lie.
No, but I know a lot of people who do collect them are a bit sick of about six different variations of McQueens in a case these days.
To be fair, speaking of like, if like moving on to like the F1 stuff, I'm surprised they haven't
Yeah.
made any sort of stuff similar. I know F1 and cars, like the sports that they represent, are two completely different races, race and sports, because obviously you got
Hmm.
cars, which is like NASCAR, and then F1 is a whole different motorsport in itself. But the fact that they haven't had the opportunity, because like in the Daytona 500, they had a few of the cars liveries, like cars themed. Like the fact that they haven't had Ferrari have like a livery from Francesco yet, unless they're waiting for the Italian Grand Prix
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah. I know there is some F1 merch coming tied to Francesco later on in diecast form, but I do think there's a licensing problem when it comes to Ferrari because they haven't released Michael Schumacher in diecast form since about 2009. So I think when it comes to Mattel and the Ferrari license, that might be where that lies. Because I know for years the licensing for Dale Earnhardt Jr., who was in Cars, was really up in the air for a long time until this year.
But they've also got like Hamilton, like Lewis Hamilton's in cars, so they could easily
Hmm.
do something with that. Um,
Yeah.
and the fact that, well, I mean, the Italian Grand Prix is not until midway through the season, so that's going to be about like June to August ish time, I think. But if you've got the opportunity to have like Lewis Hamilton or like Charles Leclerc have a like Francesco livery, it's like a perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they do stuff if it is June time because it's the 20th anniversary in June.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be shocked. So what other F1 stuff has there been? Because this new tie-in.
So at the minute, they've released a few things on the Disney Store, like
Hmm.
racing jackets, T-shirts, keychains. Miniso have also got involved in the collab where like they've got like the mystery box sort of like it's like the Labubus but it's the Mickey ones in like a racing
Okay.
outfit. Um, then you've got some of the other like keychains like kind of like Miniso normally do.
Mm.
But I mean, I was gonna buy the racing jacket, but it's like over £100. I can't do it. I, I, if I didn't have a Disney trip coming up, I would have happily done it, but I can't.
Yeah. No, to be honest, that I'm surprised that Speedstorm hasn't made Francesco a racer in this new
I
partnership.
know
He's a crew
it makes
member.
absolutely no sense.
Hmm. No. So if you are, for example, if you want to put Lewis Hamilton in there, you can.
Mm-hmm. Or just give us some merch with Luigi on. I'll be more than happy for that. the
Yeah, that'd be
greatest,
cool. I don't.
the greatest one man pit crew of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, genuinely agree. I'm a bit like, where is this merch? Because I had to flip on a flip. I had to scroll on Disney just because I wanted to have a look at what bits are coming out, and there's a lot of Floor V8 Cafe merch. I'm like, can we have the rest of the places, please?
It's. I feel like with merch as well. I feel like they're very. At the minute, I feel like they're holding back a lot. Mainly because they've got so many
Mm,
different things coming. So they've got like the films like with like Toy Story and stuff like that. But then they've got in the parks, they've got like the new Frozen Land, they've got the new Candle Land, they've got the Indiana Jones ride coming, they've got the Villains Land coming. I feel like they don't want to like push everything all at once. So then like some of it doesn't
no.
do as well as others.
Yeah, no, that is a good point.
Even though we're all sitting here like, I need it now.
We would like this, please.
Like how me and Jonathan have been going on for weeks saying we need this Spider-Man trailer and we still haven't got what we wanted.
We want the trailer. It's supposedly next Wednesday. I'll believe it when I see it.
I know it's this Wednesday supposedly. Like
Of
some
course it
reports are
is.
saying some reports are saying it's next week. Some reports are saying it's tomorrow, or some reports are saying it's Wednesday. I just want
No.
it.
See, I'm inclined to agree that it's Wednesday because the website's been activated.
Hmm. So that normally kind of is a
So
good indicator for when it's coming out.
yeah, there is a poster that Sony have released. It's not anything of note, but there's at least that.
We've got to think because considering that the film comes out in July and we
Yeah,
still haven't had a trailer for it, is
I know.
absolutely mental.
Yeah, it is crazy. We're in March now. It comes out in 4 months.
Well, it's pretty much almost April at this point.
Yeah, that is true. Like, if they need this film to come out, it needs to come out now. Moving swiftly on to another Marvel alumni joining a Disney live action. Catherine Hahn is finally announced as Mother Gothel.
I am so excited for that. Honestly, I feel like it's like so like everyone's like fan cast for it because of like
Hmm.
the type of actress she is, the way like she presents herself, especially in like Agatha. Like it's just so perfect, like visually as wise, and the how she presents herself as an actress is so perfect for Mother Gothel.
Oh, I 100% agree. And my fifth favorite MCU project is Agatha all along, so I don't care. I'm like, give me more Catherine Hahn because she's been
I've still
incredible in
never
these
got round to
witchy
watching
roles.
it. I've still never got round to watching Agatha yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know anything to do with the Agatha show. I haven't got a clue.
Okay. You don't look behind me then. Don't look behind me and don't read into any of my. If you know what I'm talking about, listeners and viewers, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because there was only 3 Funko Pops released for Agatha, and I have all 3.
Because is Agatha set? It's like is it a prequel to One Division, isn't it?
It's set after
Or is it set
three
after?
years after, yeah,
Okay, that's quite interesting.
and it's very tied to One Division in many ways
Mm.
than one, and it's also very tied to the upcoming Vision Quest in
Mm.
more ways than one. And if I am correct in my thinking, you need to watch the One Division trilogy before Doomsday.
Mm. Right.
And I will say no more unless you've read a certain Young Avengers comic run that has been heavily rumoured and includes uh
I do know a lot about the Young
villain.
Avengers comics.
Okay. To be fair, I'll just say if you've read the Children's Crusade,
Oh, I haven't heard that one yet though. I've
yeah,
read some of them,
I
not that one.
from what I'm hearing, from what I'm it makes very much big sense. The Children's Crusade will play a bit major role because I'm also now seeing that the Young Avengers will have a role akin to Ant-Man in Secret Wars and not Doomsday,
Ooh, okay.
which would make the concept art that they said wasn't real. Hmm.
Very real.
Yeah.
To be fair, in terms of like Spider Man as well. Like,
Mhm.
it's also pretty much been confirmed by everyone other than Marvel themselves, that Matthew McConaughey is going to be Green Goblin in this universe,
Mm,
which I'm quite happy
wow.
for because I feel like he'll be such a good actor for Green Goblin. I feel like he's the person who they would have probably cast in Tobey Maguire's Green Goblin if it wasn't for um what's his name? Who's the guy who played Green Goblin in Tobey Maguire's?
Oh, William Defoe.
Will Dafoe. Yeah, like if
Yeah,
it wasn't for William Dafoe, I feel like they would have probably had like Matthew McConaughey or something like
yeah. No, no, I definitely agree, and I definitely expect to see an Oscorp and a Green Goblin when we reset the universe after after Secret Wars. Because I remember the time when everyone thought Avengers Tower was going to be Oscorp. Mm.
yeah, and then everyone thought, oh, because they've just bought Fox, oh, it's going to be the Fantastic Four building, and then when it didn't become that,
Yeah,
they thought, oh, well, then what's it going to be now? Is it going to be like Fisk Tower or something else?
yeah. No, no. I just remember those theories of, is it going to be the Baxter Building? Because on the it's a little Easter egg, which is why I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Fantastic
Mm.
Four, is because it said on the building thing that was surrounding it in not Homecoming, in Far From Home, 1, 2, 3, what's coming? So everyone was like, that clearly
It's
is
gonna
a
be it's
four.
gonna, it's gonna be yeah,
And then it became the Watchtower.
which really disappointed me
Yeah,
because
to be
they
fair,
really should have had like the Fantastic Four in that sort of building.
yeah. No, 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 I agree. And I think it was a bit of a letdown from because Thunderbolts was a really good film, but I think it was a bit of
Mm.
a letdown because there was no build up to it. There was no like thing, but then it was getting hyped during interviews when people would ask who's bought Avengers Tower. Oh, we've known since then. I don't think you have.
Yeah, they definitely have. Unless I mean, they could. It's still a thing where they could tie into it where Osborn buys the building
Hmm.
because he is like a billion realistic. He could easily just buy the building.
No, no, I agree. I think a lot of fan theories, which aren't bad, but they did cloud, I think, a lot of people's expectations of what they were doing with it. Because I remember it, them saying, "Oh, it's going to be Fisk Tower, and he's going to be involved in the um, oh, I can't think what it's called, the thing where it's him, Mordok, where they're all gonna, the oh, the intelligentsia." They were
Yeah,
saying, "Oh, they're all going to be part of that." Nothing happened.
I mean to be fair, I feel like as well if they have Matthew McConaughey um as Norman Osborn, I feel like the person that should cast for Harry Osborn should be the guy who plays Mike in Stranger Things.
Yes, I can't think of
Yeah,
his name off the
I,
top of my
I,
head, but I know
yeah,
you're on about.
and I feel like he would be such a good Harry Osborn personally,
Mm.
and it'd be quite funny to
No, no, I.
see him as Harry Osborn, and then have the one who plays um why is everyone's name leaving my brain? Um, Sadie Sink in the show in like the films as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
because
all they need is the guy who plays Lucas to play Miles Morales.
we're
They
just
just have
scooping them up.
it just gets to the point where they've got all the main Stranger Things cast just in the Spider-Man universe. They'll have a backstory where the guy who plays Hopper plays Uncle Ben. Um,
That's not that is not a bad shout.
Who else they could
I
have? They could
think
have maybe have Millie Bobby Brown playing Black Cat.
yes, we need a black cat on screen. I think it's time now.
Trying to think of the guy who plays Dustin could play. Just have like the whole Stranger Things cast in the Marvel universe, which is
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. Fan casting them all.
Just fan cast all the Stranger Things cast in the Spider-Man brand new day.
Mm,
Sure. Um,
yeah. No, no, no. I do agree, and throwing it back to Catherine Hahn as Mother Gothel, I think it's an incredible casting, and I think I think they're learning how to do these live actions in
mhm.
expectations of that they don't want, as we've said before, and we've talked about this on this debate during the live action episodes. We don't want like a complete word for word, line for line live action remake, but we do still want it to feel like it was the original film to an extent that then you can remold, retell for a newer audience that didn't grow up with the original Tangled. So I think genuinely it's an incredible casting. Uh, don't get why people are saying why if the cast said she can't sing. Uh, but she's proven
Who
that she
says she
can sing.
can't sing, or at least learn to sing?
Yeah. Um,
Like
I would like to
she's one of them.
point you in the direct.
She's like one of them actresses who be like, if you tell me I need to sing for this role, I will learn.
Yeah, I just like to point you in the direction of Agatha All Along, the song, and the Ballad of the Witch's Road. If you would like to listen to those, you'll be proven wrong.
I'm sure she not in a musical like
I'm sure she
years
was
and
at
years.
some point. I'm sure. Because the woman can sing. And
Hmm.
I genuinely think I found it hilarious, obviously, but the announcement, the guy who's playing Flynn Rider commented, I can't wait for you to stab me.
I mean, that's one way to say
I
you're
found,
excited to be in the same casting room as her, I guess.
yeah, I did find that funny. It was like, you're really getting into this. And I think in terms of the live actions, Disney's, Disney's kind of betting on this one a bit
Mm.
more than some of the other ones, which it's understandable.
All I'm saying is, I feel like, especially in terms of like singing wise, anyways, obviously they've kind of hinted at they might be doing a Princess and the Frog live action, depending on how good Tangled does.
Yeah.
And realistically, if you're going to cast anyone to play Tiana, surely Cynthia Erivo is surely in the conversation for that.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
Mm-hmm.
But then again,
Especially in terms of like the singing voice as well.
yeah, I think the only problem with Cynthia is that she was the blue fairy in Pinocchio, and I know
Ah,
that,
yeah.
yeah, so I think that's your only problem when it comes to Tiana. And I also think what they'll want to do with, as they're doing with Tangled, is casting someone who's the age range for Tiana, because I
Yeah.
can't remember what age she's meant to be.
I can imagine Tiana's probably like early mid 20s, maybe at most.
Yeah,
Definitely not like in 30s or anything like that.
no. Like I'd say definitely say you're looking at 23, 20.
Mm.
I would say for it to be doing her baking and stuff.
I know. I'm still mentioning Stranger Things cast, but the one who plays Lucas, the one who plays Lucas's sister, would be quite good
Mm,
as
yeah,
Tiana.
I think there's real broad range of actors and actresses that are of the nationality that they are. Tiana and Naveen are in, and Doctor Facility, the cast in
Mhm.
general. I think
Yeah,
they've got to find things, and I kind of also wouldn't mind if you cast people from New Orleans.
yeah, that would make a lot of sense, especially for Ray Ray.
Mm,
That would be quite ideal. But the nice thing is, me and Lauren were saying not long ago, they really missed the mark in putting Will Smith as Doctor Facilius, but now because he's the genie, they can't.
yeah, yeah, and I kind of think Disney probably wouldn't cast Will Smith now.
No, no, he's not.
Uh, yeah, but yeah, talking of live actions, we've got reports Johnny Depp might be coming back for Pirates 6.
Even though it's like the sixth version of Pirates of the Caribbean, probably most people will be like, another Pirates of the Caribbean. I feel like I'm quite excited for
Mm,
it being like one of like the first Disney films I ever watched. Like The Curse of the Black Pearl is still like one of my favorite uh, films of all time. That in World End especially. Like I had that on like a
mm.
special edition DVD copy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's right. We had DVDs.
yeah, God, imagine telling young kids of today about VHS. I think it would send them a coma.
No, genuinely, I think the would.
We had to put this box thing that looked a bit like a very thick iPhone case slotted into the TV. Potentially might not work, so I had to take it back out and back in again.
Yeah,
You couldn't fast forward
yeah. What
anything.
would
You
you?
could just watch the film as it is.
No, no. I still can't get over that children will not know what Disney Fast plays.
Oh no.
That
It's
makes me
the fact
cry.
that when kids won't know about the live like where it has Jack Sparrow at the top, have our heading and then it's Peter Pan, here we go. Like
So much
kids
that they
won't
don't
know what
get
that
now.
is.
No, no. I think I'll just do a podcast episode just on Disney Fast Play at some point.
Just on Disney
This is
Fast
what it
Play.
was.
Well, yeah, specifically Disney Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, I'm intrigued. Hmm.
Pirates Six will be an interesting one just because I feel like with Pirates of the Caribbean, there's so much you can kind of do with it because of how much like folklore there is for pirates. Like you had Blackbeard, you've had Davy Jones, you've had like even like its own unique thing. Like the Black Curse of the Black Pearl is like a very unique story, and even in the last one was quite unique. So I can't imagine them not having something very similar, or even because there's been reports of where the newest one is based around um, Jack Sparrow's daughter or son, which how that happened, no idea. When did this happen? No idea. It's Jack Sparrow. It's probably he's got probably multiple kids. To be fair, Jack Sparrow. But it's been reported that like potentially Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner will be coming back, so that'll be a kind
Mm.
of good way of bringing Johnny Depp back as well.
No, no, do agree, and I think it's going to be an interesting one if it is happening, because I think enough time's passed that we're almost a decade on since the last
Hmm.
Pirates film.
Don't try to make us feel too old, Jonathan. No.
No, because came out in the last one came out 2017, and the only reason I remember that is because we were meant to get pirates stuff in Disney Infinity 4.0 based on the film.
I mean, to be fair, how it's 2006. Curse of the Black Pearl came out, so it's 20 years on now.
Yeah.
Which, Jesus Christ, that's a hard pill to swallow. But as like, I would, to be fair, I was rewatching all the Pirates of the Caribbeans the other day.
Hmm.
I got up to Dead Man. I only like watched the first two. I got up to Dead Man's Chest, but it made us remember how good like CGI used to be. Like, and how much effort and how much money they would spend on the effort and the time to make it look really good. But like, it's like the comparison of like Davy Jones playing the piano with like the octopus tentacles. Like, that is a
Mm.
massive, unbelievable thing to do with CGI. And then you've got Ant-Man Quantumania, which just looks like an indie film took charge of the CGI for that film.
We don't talk about that film.
I paid 20 quid at Odeon to go see that film.
Yeah, yeah. There's multiple reasons why we do not speak of that film.
Yeah, but it was the first one that came in my head just because of I can't remember the villain's name. It's like the one with the massive square head.
Yeah, Mordok. Mm.
Yeah, more just that was so bad, the CGI for that. And then you've got, like, for example, like Pirates of the Caribbean, where even in the first one back in 2006, you had people literally morphing from human to skeleton so seamlessly,
Mhm.
and it's like, how can it not? How is that better? How have we not improved?
Mm. No, I do agree. There's sometimes where you do watch things where you're like, this was better 10 years ago.
Yeah,
What's going on? But yeah,
it's like I
so
just hope, I do hope that the CGI for if they were to make a new Pirates, if it's gonna go through, is just as good as
mhm,
what the other Pirates visual effects are.
yeah, I know, definitely agree. And I think moving on from one set of VFX to we've chatted about how VFX sometimes aren't great, sometimes don't work, but they certainly did for Avatar: Fire and Ash because it won the Oscar for best visual effects last night.
Was what I saw someone on social media called the Avatar Award. Because every single time they've always been nominated, they've won it.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think the third film is the best that they've done visually from the new ones.
Mm.
If I'm gonna give a preference, I think three is better than two. Hmm.
I might annoy some people with this statement, but I still haven't got around to watching Fire and Ash yet.
Ah, it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, is it on Disney Plus now?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I think it came
Oh,
out, and I am sure it's on. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
because that's the thing. I've been waiting for it to go on Disney Plus, and I never heard
Yeah,
anything about it going on Disney Plus yet.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, December came out in December. Yeah, I'm sure it's on Disney Plus. Yeah,
Hmm. I might
there's
have
my
to have a
brain
look
now going. Is it? Is it not?
because I know Zootopia 2's
Can't.
just gone on there, and that came out before Avatar.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's not. And somebody in the comments will go, "It's not on yet." What are you
Just like me,
talking
they're
about?
still waiting.
No, no, I'll double check it once we finish. And be like, I'm sure it's on this because
I
I
mean,
remember
if
seeing it.
I'll be
Maybe.
watching it.
Mm, to be fair, maybe it's just me thinking because obviously you had all those Avengers trailers attached to it. I thought it must be out by now.
I mean, I've only just got round to watching Wicked for Good last night.
What did you think about it? Because obviously it was not nominated for anything
Mm.
at the Oscars.
For some, for someone who watched the theatre show way before the film came out, it's
Yeah, agreed.
obviously people who've never watched the theatre show. I feel like have gave this film a very not intentionally, but a bad reputation for it. Just because it's always been known that the first part's always better for the scores and the music, and the second part is better for the drama and the story.
Yeah.
But even
Oh,
then,
I 100% agree.
the songs in the second part are still fantastic. Like "For Good" is a beautiful song at like the ending
Hmm.
of the show.
No, I 100% agree. I think I always was worried about. I always said to people, I'm concerned about them splitting it just because of that reason. The second half is much more complex and dramatic than the first half, and you get more of the. I think a lot of the steam for people like thinking Wicked was incredible was lost for the
Mm.
second one in terms of awards and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like as well it kind of was. I feel like in between the gap between the first one and the second one, there was a lot more competition for awards as the
Oh,
second was coming
100%.
out.
Oh, 100%. Watching the Oscars last night, it was, yes, it came down to a battle between, ironically, one battle after another and Sinners. But
Mm-hmm.
this last year has had far better, far better films in the big film categories than 2024, which
Mm-hmm.
is, I'm probably get slated for that, but I do think this year's been far harder to call it than maybe saw last year.
To be fair, the only film I can actually remember coming out in 2024 is Wicked. Oh no, Oppenheimer came
Yeah,
out the same year, didn't they? And Barbie. Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Wicked all came
that
out the
was,
same year, right?
but Barbenheimer was 2023,
Or
and
is it
then
2020?
yeah, that summer of 2023 was Barbenheimer. What else? I'm trying to. 2024 was Wicked, Anora. I will know. Oh, the Substance was last year, which was an
Mm.
incredible film. So I do think there's more. There was more this year that you had to fight against than.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I get why it didn't get as many nominations. And sadly, Zootopia 2 didn't win Best Animated Film.
Speaking of Wicked though, like it's always been like a little curse on it because like Wizard of Oz didn't win anything when that was like
Yeah.
the latest film. Like that never won any awards at all. Even though nowadays we consider like Wizard of Oz as like an incredible film.
Oh yeah, yeah. You do see it as this cultural phenomenon of a film that really redefined cinema on screen because of the use of Technicolor for what was the first time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the behind the scenes for Wizard of Oz wasn't exactly great,
No, certainly wasn't. Now
but
is a that is a deep dive in itself that I
yeah,
might do
the film and the behind the
because I
scenes
will.
are completely different
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Because at some point I will be doing Oz the Great and Powerful. That is Disney.
Mm, yeah,
Mm. But yeah, I just feel like when it comes to Wicked, the first one had so much more momentum behind it than the second one had. Because the first one's trailer dropped during the Super Bowl and it had that. amount of time to build.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the second one, it didn't really start its marketing till around May, June time.
Mm-hmm. I do feel
So if
like
truthfully, I get it. Mm.
it did get a bit hard on mine because I feel like Wicked for Good is such a great film, and I feel like it did really pay a great homage to the second part of the theatre show. But it's
Mm,
always been that sort of stereotypical thing where everyone says the first part's better than the second part.
yeah. And it's not a bad thing because to be fair, I prefer the second half, which might
Mm-hmm.
surprise a lot of theatre people.
To be fair, I prefer the second half in terms of like it's especially
Mm,
in terms of like if you exclude all the songs and stuff because obviously the songs in the first part are a lot more like memorable and a lot more like famous. But I feel like the
yeah.
full plot and story that it leads into in the second part is more is a lot better. But I feel like the scores and the songs in the first part are a lot more memorable.
Mm. Oh, to be fair, I agree. I think the only criticism I have with part two, well, Wicked for Good, is I think that some of the two new original songs they weren't the greatest, but I think the animal plot wasn't as fully developed as they wanted it to be in the second one.
Yeah, I feel like there was definitely something there where they did want to do more about the
Mm,
animals, but didn't, and they just couldn't.
yeah, but yeah, I genuinely do think that as much yeah, Wicked's universal, but Wicked, the Wizard of Oz has had a very big impact in how filmmaking has been done, and it was part of the great movie ride Once Upon a
Mm-hmm.
Time.
Yeah.
And Disney have attempted it with Oz the Great and Powerful. I'm sure there was something else I can't think of, and Oz and the Wizard of Oz was a massive part of ABC's Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it definitely was.
hmm Especially in the later seasons. So Disney have tapped into it, and I think potentially you
I
could
mean,
see maybe later down the line they might do something.
mm. I feel like to be fair, when it comes to like anything to do with like fairy tales and cinema, you can't ignore Wizard of Oz. You can't ignore Wicked because it's just,
Mm,
especially Wizard of Oz. It's like if you try and get any random person on the street to name any like film around that time, they're probably going to mention either Wizard. They're probably going to mention Wizard of Oz.
yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I think it's an interesting thing to think about in terms of films and cinema. Now what we're going to do is we're going to throw it over to the parks, and firstly we're going to start with the fact that the Disney Wish is coming to the UK.
I'm so excited for that. If honestly, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd be on that cruise. Literally on the first day it rocks up.
Yeah. Have a drive down to Southampton and we're getting
I I would run down to Southampton if I had to. Honestly, I would.
yeah. We'll hitchhike it when it finally comes.
But yeah, I feel like it's going to be a
Yeah.
great thing, especially for like because the Disney cruises have always been around Southampton and like the UK and stuff like that. But I feel like having that additional like because it's the Disney Wish is now like the newest one, and having
Mm,
that sort of new eye experience and it's sort of like a bit of a different experience is going to be like a massive thing for Disney and a massive thing for people who like going on Disney cruises.
mm. And it's also another door to people who can't get to the parks at the
Mm,
moment and they don't have a chance. So I do think that you do have these other options and I would hope that someday Disney do something in the UK.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like with how close Paris is to the UK, I feel like it's something that's realistically never going to happen.
Mm.
Especially with
Mm.
now having Universal so close, that like the new Universal Park's going to be literally like near London, so it's not that far away.
Yeah,
Like to be fair,
yeah,
the
it's
amount of like, I feel like if someone in the comments needs to like figure out the distance between Universal and Disney on International Drive in Orlando and the distance between where Bedfordshire is and Paris.
what is the distance? But yeah, I wouldn't mind like Disney doing something in the UK that isn't Disney parks that you could have somewhere and doesn't have to be Disney. And I would also like Disney stores back across the
Yeah,
country.
I was literally just about to say it, bring the Disney stores back because
I want
we
it
had
back.
two. We had two up in the northeast at once upon a time,
Yeah, yeah. There
and then
used to be one in my shopping centre down the road.
yeah, there was so then I three, maybe one in Sunderland as well, so probably have four.
Yeah, there's been one there. One. Now we
It's
have
like
just the
just bring them
flagship.
back. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes. Bring the Disney stores back because it's bizarre.
to be fair, I would laugh. To be fair, if the broadband back in Middlesbrough, I know fine well you'd be applying for that job.
Yeah. Like I can be. I'm a little busy. Give me it back because I won't work.
Come on, Dick. Jonathan needs a job. Come on.
Let me write for you. That's the thing. I'm like, you got any jobs in that? No, but no, it's definitely something that we would like back, and I know a lot of Disney fans would like Disney stores back because once again, it is a little place that you can go to, and it's not far. Like, yeah, you can't. Some people can't get to the parks, so having these little, just these small Disney shops, just makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Whereas, so talking of Paris, the previews for World of Frozen are currently going at the moment.
Which I've been researching all morning, and when I mean researching, I mean I've been sitting in bed with my bowl of cereal watching YouTube videos on
That's one way to research.
it. But I mean, for what we've seen of it, it looks so much bigger. Like the area that they've built
Hmm.
on is so much bigger than what anyone was expecting. Like
Yeah.
the area that they've built, like literally, like visually, it looks like the size of World Pavilion.
Okay. Oh
Like
wow.
that's how big the river looks. It looks literally
Oh
the
my.
size of World Pavilion. It looks massive.
Yeah. Oh my
And to be
god.
fair,
That's mad.
like the distance, like I saw the video and where they're going, where
Hmm.
the gates are, like where the actual the walkway is to get up to it. Like
Mm.
I feel like when you look at it from before you get to the barricades, like where they've like shut it off so you can't walk through. I feel like
Yeah.
doesn't generally take in the perspective of how far away Arendelle is from where you're standing because of how tall
Okay.
that mountain is. It really doesn't
Hmm.
take the perspective of how far away it is. Like it looks a lot closer than what it actually is.
Well, that's interesting, and I think I genuinely think that it does look incredibly stunning, and we know from people that we know that have been there that are going to these previews that there's been a few hiccups with the rides, but
Mhm.
all in all, a lot of people have had really good experiences so far with World of Frozen.
By the looks of it, I don't think the
Mm.
upride's even built. By the looks of it, I don't even think they finished building the upride.
Yeah.
So the Tangled rides there, the whole of Arundel's there. So the world, the even the so I saw like a POV of like them riding Frozen Ever After, and it looks the animatronics and the visual effects look stunning.
Hmm.
Um, but there's no sign of like anything to do with the upride, but it's still being like advertised. So I wonder if it's like kind of been delayed and pushed back a bit.
Yeah, that's the potentially. Because to be fair, I completely forgot about the Tangle ride.
Well, with Lauren being a massive Tangle fan, I haven't had the
Yeah.
choice to forget about that, right?
Like it's that, and then we're getting an up ride in the
Mm-hmm.
Pixar section at some point,
Yeah,
which is
but I
another
mean, like
spinner.
where the walkways are to get Arendelle, so obviously it's like a circular pond.
Yeah.
So the walkways on the sides clearly give an indication of that. Obviously, the Lion King's going to be on one side, and it's going to be
Hmm.
a massive
Of
wide open
course.
space where that is. But then on the other side, there's
Mm-hmm.
a massive wide open space that's untouched.
Mm,
But I think I mentioned to you not long ago. I think it was last year's D23 where they brought up the the blueprints for the firework thing in the middle. Kind of
yeah.
it's kind of similar. Like the structure of it is similar to what they have in Epcot in the middle, where the fireworks and the water stuff comes out. But it had panels of where in what direction it was facing. So one had the walkway, one said Arendelle, one said Lion
Hmm.
King, and then the guy, I think it was Bob Iger, present this, saying there's a little Easter egg on the other panel if you can take a
Yeah.
closer look with your cameras, and it says Pandora.
Hmm.
So does that mean that that
Interesting.
wide open space is free for a Pandora? So
Yeah, it's not a bad shout.
mm-hmm.
I can see it.
It would fit so well. It would be quite weird, literally going from like Tangled to Pandora to Arendelle to Pride Rock. It'd be quite a weird thing, but
Yeah.
I feel like it would be so amazing to have one there because there's so much space in between where Arendelle is and where the Cars ride is. Like, it doesn't mean that I have
Yeah.
to get rid of the Cars ride. There's still so much space near it where they can get away with doing it behind the Cars ride.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought, oh well, if they add something else, they're gonna have to get rid of the Cars ride. But the perspective is where the Cars ride is, it's just
Yeah.
a walkway, but there's still massive space like behind the Cars ride where they could easily
Oh,
put
okay.
something.
Hmm. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, and maybe that's why they've paused. Well, the Pandora that's coming to California doesn't
Mm-hmm.
look to be coming till after 2027 now. So maybe they've paused that because they're going to bring whatever they were planning for that to
Mm-hmm.
Paris,
Plus, there's also like a
potentially.
patch. So someone went a helicopter trip around where Disneyland Paris is, and there's like a visual shot. There's a massive patch of grass behind where Frozen Ever After is. So some
Yeah.
people are saying they're leaving that, but they're leaving that there for potentially putting the roller coaster that they've got in Hong Kong, the Frozen roller
Okay.
coaster,
Mhm.
because it's not far away enough to consider it might be Pandora, but it's so close
Mm.
enough where it could potentially be that.
Yeah. That's not a bad shout. So yeah, I don't think there's any other park news other than Indiana Jones is in construction, Encanto is in construction. There's a few walls getting
Piston
knocked
Peak's got a
down.
date. Piston Peak's got
Oh, has it?
a little. It's so it's going to be. I think they said between 2028 and 2029.
Okay. I bet Cars 4 will release in the same month that
Most likely.
opens.
Most likely. So
Yeah,
whenever we see cars releasing, it'll probably be the same around time as Piston Peak.
yeah, yeah.
But apparently,
I don't
there's
think.
news of it where they've got a new ride system for the ride for Piston Peak.
Okay.
Apparently so.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to
Because
have a look
unlike the
into
one,
that.
because unlike the one in California where it's like McQueen type cars where it's just like flat roads.
Mm.
Obviously, the
Yeah.
content it's more like off road, sort of like bumpy hills and stuff like that. So it's probably going to be like kind of very similar, a mix of that and Dinosaur.
Okay.
So it's going to be fast paced but bumpy.
Hmm. Ooh, interesting. That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Is there anything else? I don't think so. So I think we'll start wrapping this up. I'd like to remind you that you can catch us on the Diz Debate channel on YouTube and go follow them on Instagram because they've recently done a rebrand from Disney Hot Topic to Diz Debate, and we were both on last week's episode talking all things COVID. Tom, where can people find you?
Tom also Disney on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And I'd just like to remind you, you can follow me on Instagram at StraightOnToDisneyPod, and you can email me your thoughts at StraightOnToDisneyPod@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening, and bye!